You are welcome to another segment of my video. This is Gist with K. And in this video, I want to talk about something that is affecting us currently as Nigerians. The truth still remains that we caused the problem by ourselves, for ourselves. And now it's hurting us. It's hurting us like a plague. Do you know, during the 2015 election, I had a lot of people, friends were having issues with their friends. Some of them were making reference to 1983. Ghana must go. This is 1970, 78 or 89. Ghana must go. It was Buhari that asked them to go. It was this, that, that, that. But I've done my comparison. I've taken time to do my analysis. I discovered that Goodluck Jonathan administration did not inherit the best of fuel price. When Yaradua died, he became the acting president. He didn't inherit the best of fuel prices, but it was in his time that the fuel prices was dropped from the amount it was reduced. We are buying fuel for, I bought fuel 65 naira. From there, they increased it to 86, and we are using the fuel. Everybody can afford it. But today, Buhari came, move it to 146. 146, we are still crying. From 120, we are still crying. Hey, 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 hey. Move it to 146. 146, we are still crying. Just from October last year till now, we have had several increments on pump price, and nobody's talking anything about it. And I begin to ask myself, what is the work of DPR? What is the work of DPR? December was a bit fair. We are buying fuel for 300, 270, 280. Some filling station we are selling for 275. And there was no queue. The only place you can see a long queue is those selling for 220. But during December, I remember we bought in Akwa Ibom for 800. In Port Harcourt, we bought for 500. I don't know about any other state. I came to Edo for stuff, and we are buying for 290. I bought for 290. But currently, the same fuel. I was in Port Harcourt last weekend. I bought fuel for 490. The same fuel I bought for 490. Why coming to Port Harcourt? I came back to meet the same fuel for 600. Last weekend, I bought 290 in Port Harcourt. That was on Thursday night. And on Monday morning, I bought for 350. Before I would leave that station to get to another one, they have changed their pump price to 600. What is happening? This regime have not only brought a plague to Nigerians, it has also brought a curse, in the sense that cost of living is high. With that, those who build their houses far back, they are increasing it as if they just built it now. And when you ask them, they will tell you the cost of things are high. House that was built 1980 is charging rent of house that was built or completed just January. Today, being the first day of February 2023, in my city, they are selling current fuel pump price is 600 with queue, 650, 700 without queue. And in the whole city, you only see 3 filling stations selling. It's not that others doesn't have, but they are waiting for it to increase before they will start selling. And I ask myself, what is the work of DPR? When I was in school, I have that notion of I would like to work with DPR. And what is DPR? Department of Petroleum Resources. I wanted to work with them. Then DPR, they were strict doing their work. If you have fuel in your station and you are not selling when others are selling, they will come and see your station. But these days, what has happened? And I begin to make my research, I begin to make my findings. I discovered today we have a lot of exotic filling stations than before. We have a lot of fancy filling stations than before. Even some built filling station, franchise it to NNPC filling station, franchise it to Rain Oil, franchise it to Owando, franchise it to Corn Oil, and many more. And my question is this: what is the work of DPR?
We
According
don't
to
want
my
to save
investigation,
anybody, men are
I
close.
found
We
out
don't want to see
that
anybody.
most of the filling stations
Oh
you
yeah,
see
yeah,
these
we don't
days
want
are
swear.
owned
Now they
by
craze.
DPR big
We no
boys.
agree.
So
Oh
that's
yeah,
why
yeah, lock
open door.
everywhere. Shots everywhere.
I remember those days in school, we went to filling station to buy PMS as usual, which is popularly known as petrol. We got there, the filling station was sealed with sticker, DPR sticker, sealed under DPR. I started asking why. They said they were selling higher than normal pump price. And we have to trek from there to another filling station to get that PMS that evening. But what is happening these days? If we are of a truth practicing federalism or unitary system of government, why is it that in Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, they are still selling fuel for 185? Meanwhile, in other states, they are not selling the same thing. Is Abuja not part of Nigeria? Is Abuja different from Nigeria? Are those living in Abuja have two heads? What is actually happening? This administration did not just fail Nigerians. They have made a lot of people to regret, and a lot of people have died. The truth is that those that voted them in, those that put their life on the line to vote this administration in, many of them are dead as a result of hardship embedded on them by this administration. So if a normal Nigerian cannot be able to afford fuel because of the price, what do you think? Is there anything that is being done in this life without petroleum? Almost 85 or 90% of what we do on daily basis is done with petroleum. Even if you don't cook with petrol, the things you go to market to buy, they are being transported by petrol. So the cost implication will affect them. You go to barbing salon to barb, where you barb 1,000 naira before, they are charging 1,500, 2,000, and you can't count it against them. They are buying petrol at 700, 800 a liter. So how do you expect them to still collect 1,000 from you? And they pay for shop rent. They maintain their clippers and other equipment they use. So it's not wickedness from their side, but it's wickedness from the government and DPR. Because what the masses are doing, and they were checkmating them before, or the business the masses were doing and they were checkmating them, is now what the big boys in DPR are doing, and nobody can checkmate them. Nobody can checkmate them. They decide what to sell, the price to sell, and nobody regrets it. So when you talk, they say they have removed subsidy. Those subsidy who are removing it, the crude that are refined into this PMS as a finished product, where is this crude gotten from? Still in Nigeria. Something like this happened, but the price didn't get to this. That Asari started producing in his local refinery those days in Port Harcourt, and the fuel was good. So if Asari can produce fuel in his local refinery and circulate it in the streets of Port Harcourt, and people were using it without having issues with their vehicle, what happened? That our own government refineries can produce, and the local refinery failure to give you what you ask them to give, they will go and burn them down. I'm not an advocate to crime and bunkery. No, I am not. But our government need to checkmate this. And this is the reason why they will do anything within their reach not to vote to be in. Because they will know most of these practices will be curtailed. Most of these excesses will be curtailed. It won't be a normal practice anymore or any longer. How do we produce crude here and we can't use it? Our refineries are not working. Southeast, where all these things are being produced, we don't have enough, but we have a lot of depots. And those depots transport to the north and transport across border to other neighboring countries. Something happened last year within the early December or late November last year. One of the immigration officers working in one of these borders filmed a tanker exporting PMS out of Nigerian border. Why we don't have enough in our filling station? When he filmed that, the guy was sanctioned and arrested the next day and brought to book. But we who produce, we don't have enough. Just because our political gladiators want to cash out. Just because our DPR officers want to cash out. And they are cashing out on people's blood. They are cashing out at the expense of the masses suffering. And they are deriving joy from it. You know, there is one saying that the Bible once said. I read a part of the Bible one time. I said, be sure one day your sin will find you out. We are no longer waiting for one day because we know by investigation, we've seen what you are doing. But what I want to ask you, you've moved your children abroad. They are schooling there, real system are working. You that have moved them abroad and you are here with us, you can eat breakfast here and eat lunch abroad. Fine. And you are projecting them to come back after whatever they are doing, their schooling or stuff, to come and take over from where you stop. Those days, DPR used to be an open place. But today, you only get a work there by recommendation. What happened to Federal Character Commission? When they will say, okay, this slot is going to so and so geopolitical zone, this slot is going to so geopolitical zone. But now, those things are no longer there. You can go to one federal parastatal, you will see one tribe circulating all the place, taking the top position. By the weight of education, they don't have the right qualification. But to them, they came from the right tribe. The Federal Character Commission have died. Our federal parastatal is now being filled with one particular tribe. Any other tribe you see there are subordinate. This fuel scarcity that is going on until some of these DPR own filling station start getting burnt, maybe things will not change. And I'm not only investigating this, other people are doing their homework too and their research. If care is not taken, if nothing is done, soon and very soon, these stations may start getting burnt. And it won't be a good thing to write home about. So let NNPC and DPR and other parastatal know what to do about this. I still see people transporting PMS out of the depot. Meanwhile, the state or the community where the depot are being situated, they don't have any PMS to use. All the filling stations there are locked up. Whether they have and decide not to sell, best known to them. But all of them are locked up. But tankers are still carrying products, crossing through the same highway. If care is not taken, they may ambush those tankers, drain the products, and set them on fire. I'm not advocating for violence, but our government should do the right thing so that you don't start planting negativity in the minds of young people. Thank you for staying so far and see you on my next video. Bye for now.